Hi guys. Before you go on and listen to our first episode for Raving and Reviewing, we just wanted to say thank you for clicking. We also wanted to let you know that there will be spoilers ahead, not just for WandaVision, but also for the other movies in the MCU. So listen at your own discretion. Thank you.
Welcome to Raving and Reviews. My name is R, and this is my co-host V.
Hey guys.
Today we're going to be reviewing Wandavision episodes 1 and 2.
Yep. Let's do it.
Alright, this has been our first trip back into the MCU in
Mm-hmm.
over a year.
Yeah.
There's been zero new MCU stuff in 2020,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
they took a break all 2020. They did not release it like they did Wonder Woman on HBO. They're waiting it out. They're trying to see if they can release everything in an actual movie theater with actual people
Yeah,
watch
they're making a choice to say like Black Widow's gonna be in theaters in May.
Yeah.
And it's like, will it? I
And
wonder if it'll be delayed again because
I
things aren't
think it will
improving.
be. I think it will be. But that'll be interesting to see. But yeah,
Delayed again, or will be released in theaters?
no, I think it'll be delayed because I don't think they're gonna risk, not having their full MCU audience. That's just my guess, though.
Yeah, I mean they want to make. I mean, I don't think that's gonna make $1 billion like Avengers. Will make like I don't know, 500 to 800.
Yeah, it won't have like everybody who was there for Endgame.
Unless people are that excited to go back to
Just
like
any movie.
watch
Just give me
something.
any movie. I'll watch anything possible. But I
I mean,
think
movie
if
theaters shut down too. I mean, maybe there's less
yeah,
theaters to go watch stuff. Tickets are gonna be $30, maybe.
I'll pay. I don't care. I love movies. But I
You
think the
just rent the
problem
theater for
is
this one. I'd rent the theater for
yes,
this one.
I would rent one. Yeah, I would. And they're like what, $200? If we get enough people, that
I think
could be worth it.
it could be more for this. Wonder Woman was 300, and I was so glad we didn't spend the
No,
money
that
on
was
that.
bad. That was bad. All right, so we wanted to just quickly talk about the two episodes that aired on last Friday, for WandaVision, and want to kind of give our thoughts and see if any of our theories could come into fruition later in the future, and see what everyone else thinks. So, what was your first take on the first episode?
I was very confused.
Yes, same. Did you like
No,
how like kind of sitcom-y it was, and it did kind of have that 1950s feel? But like we weren't watching it to watch a sitcom. I think that was
no, I
one
mean,
thing, right?
I think it's going to be a big turnoff for many people, or many
Yeah.
casual baby people with the Marvel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was so in. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to see more of it. I'm ready them to move on.
Yeah.
But the 29 minutes episode 1 was the perfect time.
Yeah, I think that's why it was short, because when we first clicked on it, our first impression was, wow, this is a short episode. It's only 30 minutes. I think I came in with the impression that all of them are going to be at least an hour long,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like if I
Yeah,
think of
that's what I
like
thought too.
other like
Netflix,
yeah, or at least 40
HBO,
minutes, right?
anything.
Yeah, 40
Yeah,
minutes is like the standard for these superhero things. Like if you watch like any of the CWDC universe, everything is like 40, 42 minutes.
yeah.
So I expected that, and I was very confused. And the first 10 minutes, I'm like, did we click on the wrong show? Because this is not what we're trying to watch.
Yeah.
And then as it went on, there was literally only like sitcomisms in the whole show, in the whole first episode at least. They were just kind of being silly and almost had like a Bewitched mixed with I Love Lucy mixed with Dick Van Dyke. We'll talk about Bewitched a little bit later on, but that kind of gave me that feel. And I knew it was going to be based on a sitcom. I didn't think that was going to be the main focus of the story.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like you, sort of like, I don't think this is going to be good if this is where they're taking it. Because as much as the episode was like a classic sitcom, and that's fun to watch, right? I've seen the Dick Van Dyke Show, and this was kind of followed that same sort of formula. And I don't mind watching that, but that's not what I want from the MCU.
Yeah, like I'm glad to see one episode, and they did a great homage to those shows.
Yeah.
And I think the style was done well. The black and white looks great.
Really well.
Costume design was so good.
Right.
And then the first time actually seeing Vision's face, I was like, something's off. It's not like how it is in the movies.
Yeah. Well, he is black and white.
Well, yeah, I mean, something was like the first time you see Vision and you're like, wait, something's wrong here.
Also,
And it's
he
like, I
is
wonder, is it
creepy
makeup?
looking. He's creepy looking when he's not Vision in the 50s.
The human version?
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god. But it's not because I think the actor is really attractive. I think the problem is because it's in black and white and he's so pasty and pale.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, wait, what? This is not a good look. But I got used to it more as we saw more of
He was making me think he looks kind of like Ted Danson a bit with long hair.
Yeah, oh, I love Ted Danson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that, but like without his like Michael perfected do, right?
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
just falling on his I could definitely see that. Ted Danson's not as pale though, I have to say. He's got a little bit of color.
I mean, you haven't seen him in black and white.
True. Very true. But yeah, I think the first impression, like you said, right? Like you were very intrigued, but I remember because we watched it at the same time, but we weren't in the same location. So I was texting him, and I was just like, I don't know, am I supposed to be this confused? Like I'm like, I don't think they did a good job reeling you back in to the world. But I don't think that was the purpose of the first episode. I think you're supposed to be this confused.
No,
right?
They want you to be confused enough to be like, I want to know more.
Yes, but they also want you to enjoy that sitcom that they were in. Because the first, when I tell you the first is like just a full-fledged sitcom, it is you get a story arc of the silly couple with little weird tidbits in it. Very, very minimal in the first one. I thought there was, unless
if you
missed
gave
a lot of it.
To somebody that's not a Marvel fan and told them, oh, this is just an old sitcom, I think
they'll believe it.
You'd believe it. Yeah. Other than the ending where he's like invisible. Well, I guess maybe the part in the kitchen where she's making the dinner magically.
No, but that's fine too, because they had sitcoms back in the day where like I love Jeannie, I think was that the name? Oh, I Dream of Jeannie, right? She had magical powers. Bewitched, the second episode, by the way, is actually based on Bewitched. The first one is a little bit of a debate whether it's Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy, a mixture of both. It could be. But the second one definitely was Bewitched. It was very clear. But I think the episode of itself, I think they clearly just focused on that sitcom story, right? There was little goofs everywhere. He's working at this company where he has no clue what people do. And that was sort of funny because I feel like there's sitcoms that have done that in the past.
And it's like he had a funny reference like, oh, what did they do here? And then
what do they do here? He's trying to figure it out the whole time.
And it's like he's a super computer that could calculate and do this all like
You know what that kind of reminded me of? Chandler's job in Friends, where he doesn't even really know. He's like a data entry person. He doesn't really know what he's doing, but that kind of reminded me of that. So yeah, I think the first episode, that sitcom, I don't know. Did you find the sitcom bit actually interesting?
I did like it. I'd like the part where, like, I guess they have the calendar day and there's the heart circle on the 23.
Yeah.
And then he thinks it's some kind of anniversary. And then
she does too. And she just makes it up.
She does too. And then I guess, like, the neighbor comes in.
Yeah.
I forget her name.
Tilly? That's a total
I forget her name. But she did a great job.
She was good. I really liked
her. As, like, the nosy neighbor.
But helpful.
She's a big actress now, but I forget her name. She's in Parks and Rec.
Catherine O'Hara? No.
Yeah, it could be.
Catherine something.
No, so she's like coming and then saying, like, asking her all these questions about this, and it's like, oh, if it's your anniversary, you got to do something special and do something like change things up, decorate the house, do something crazy, and then like he's like at work and he figures out, oh shit, this is like a dinner with my boss to impress him for my raise or promotion. And then it reminds me, like, I don't remember Lucy. I've seen like maybe 20 years ago now. I don't remember. 15 years ago was the last time I saw it.
There's always some sort of miscommunication in these shows.
Yeah, miscommunication. And then they come home and then it's like, and then like she covers his eyes, like, guess who or something. And it's like, that's the classic. I love what she's
wearing, by the way. Like that in the 50s. I don't know if you care, but I love what she's wearing. She like had like,
and she changes.
She does, and it's all her clothes from the 50s were just perfect. But that right now, that would be like a normal dress, right? Back then, that was like
you're showing off.
Yeah, like, oh, you try and get something out of your wife or husband. That I thought was really pretty. And also the costuming from back in the day, I think they did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
Like her outfits, even his outfits, like his suits
Mm-hmm.
were just. That's why I also thought it was Dick Van Dyke, because Vision, the guy who plays Vision, he was like really like there was this one part where he like jumps over a chair, and I remember watching an episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show where he does exactly that, and I feel like he's tall enough to kind of emulate, and that's why I'm thinking it's more that show. But yeah, the first episode very sitcom-y to the T.
Yeah.
But there are some differences. So, what was the main thing like you started like noticing that okay, they are going to start straying away from the actual sitcom arc? They will finish it, but it's also, even though this episode comes to like a close, like you know how sitcoms will always have something neatly wrapped up at the end. This does, but it does something different. So I know you started slowly talking about that. So we want to talk about the dinner scene.
Ending?
Yeah, the dinner scene.
Yeah. So there's, I like a lot of it. I like the part before that where she's freaking out about dinner, and she's using her Scarlet Witch powers to like cook dinner and stuff.
Yeah.
Things aren't turning out, and then she magically just like dinner for breakfast, and he's like, "Oh, she's European."
Yeah.
And it's just and it references like she's from Sokovia.
Yep.
It's made up place.
It's made up place, but it's somewhere in Europe.
Somewhere in Europe, and they believe it. They have the.
She has a Russian. She had a Russian accent in the beginning of her role.
Oh yeah, her voice is very different.
And then slowly just went away.
And then I guess like the husband is choking when they're actually having dinner.
Mm-hmm. So the husband meaning not Vision though, right? It was the boss,
Mr.
Hart.
Yeah. And then like the wife, Mrs. Hart, I guess like is saying, "Oh, just stop it."
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
And the music changes.
I think it's filmed a bit differently. I think it's like something.
It gets like wonky, like almost like a horror movie.
Yeah. And it's like Vision fixed this, and then he, I guess maybe she doesn't see it or something, but he uses his power. He can become like phase through things, and he just phases out the whatever food stuck.
And then they snap back into sitcom mode, which again,
and then they're like, "Oh, you get the promotion," and back to normal. And it's like, did they not notice? Are they in on this?
Right.
Is there something else? Like, why did they? I guess just like perfectly think like, all right,
everything's back to normal.
All right, we're good.
Like something like this didn't even happen. Like Vision didn't just grab a piece of meat from this guy's neck. Right? They just completely ignored it. And like I was saying, right, his wife, who by the way is played by Kitty, if anyone's watched that 70s show. So I'm really excited if they, because I think you were telling me that they'll do like sitcoms from every era. So it'd be interesting if they do something from the 70s and Kitty is in it. I'm going to have a personal little party in my head when I see that. So
I wonder what they'll do for
I hope she's more important 80s? In that episode. 80s, there's a lot of sitcoms there too. Who's the boss's name? Are they going to do Cheers
Friends,
is 80s.
Maybe?
Cheers is 80s. Oh, you think Ted Danson will make an appearance for the 80s?
No, I just think he looks like Ted Danson. I don't think he's in this.
He was. I think 80s. Cheers is definitely
80s or is it 90s?
I think it's 80s. It's 80s, and it trickled into the 90s. Maybe Friends is 90s. So I'm thinking they're doing Friends for the 90s sitcom, right? For
what's 2000s?
No, Friends
Brady
is
Bunch?
90s.
When's Brady Bunch? 80s?
Brady
70s?
Bunch is also 80s.
Full House?
70s. Full House is 90s. That I know.
Would they have that? I mean, they could reference any of these.
Whatever happened to predictability? I'm down for that. I'll watch Full House. But I think Friends is bigger.
I mean, I don't think they'll reference black sitcoms, but I would love if they did some Fresh
like
Prince.
Family Matters. Oh, yeah.
What's Happening? No, Family Matters. Yeah. Sister.
Oh, yeah. Sister.
Is that sitcom?
That is early 2000s for sure. Sister is sitcom. Did you ever watch all of it?
Not all of it.
Whenever it was on TV, right?
Yeah.
Same. I've been watching it on Netflix on and off. It doesn't.
It's on Netflix?
Yes.
Not Disney Plus?
No, it's on Netflix.
Maybe. Raven?
Maybe it's on both. You're right.
Oh, if Raven gets Vision.
I'm down for that. I like that. They got to do that now.
Disney show. They're making a Raven come back.
They don't have to worry about any like copyright issues.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So I think that was an important one. And then there's other stuff in this episode, particularly in WandaVision, that she does that kind of, then you're like, okay, no, there's obviously this is the MCU and there's something freaky going on where they don't have an anniversary, right? Like Aura was saying, in the beginning when they see the heart on the calendar, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not really sure
They
what
have
that's
some kind of
for.
memory loss or memory blocking
Yeah,
happening
right.
right now.
They don't know why they're there. They don't understand it. And when they see the heart, they're like, oh, like maybe it's an anniversary. So that's why Wanda is just guessing. And, she gets her
Mm-hmm.
next door neighbor to help her. And that's why she's in that beautiful white thing that she's wearing, lingerie, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
So after that, you kind of have them sit down and say, we are kind of an odd couple, right? We don't really have rings. We don't know if we're married. To me, it's so weird that Wanda and Vision, right? They're kind of just saying this in passing. If it was someone normal, they'd be like, we literally have memory loss. We don't know why we're here.
Yeah.
And we don't know how we ended up in this position, right? Where I'm living with this guy who, they were in a relationship before, but they don't know if they're married. They don't know where they are. But they're accepting it at face value. They're not questioning it. Wanda is fine where she is. She's confused. And in that dinner scene, like you could see her face kind of coming back to normal, where it's like, is she under a trance of some sort? Did someone give her something to make her think that this is where she belongs? And then eventually you see that, okay, she kind of knows where she is, but I don't think she wants to accept what reality is, and she's okay where she is. So she's okay the fact that someone might be manipulating her, because in the second episode, and we're going to move on to the second episode soon, but this episode, it just kind of seems like Wanda is fine where she is, which is why a lot of it was just sitcom. Like there's
she's
a full
enjoying
arc.
being here a bit.
Right. She's enjoying being the wife.
I think it's like this is her escape, maybe. It's something that's just, maybe it's not under control, or maybe just like it's in her mind of like, this is my escape from reality. Because as we know, Vision is dead.
Right.
In this,
if
we're saying this is after Endgame, after Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We don't know that. There's no timelines given. There's nothing really stated of when is this actually happening. Is this in the 60s, 50s? We have no clue when this is happening.
Right.
Until the end of the show, after the scene with the dinner, they snap out, gets promotion. Do they get the rings this episode, or is it next episode?
It's this episode where she's like, we are kind of an odd couple.
Yeah,
we
and
don't
they magically
have any
make some
rings.
rings.
And they make rings, yep.
Then
and I think that's all the way towards the end too, right? After they leave.
Yeah, after they leave.
Yeah,
that's like, I think the final scene, I think.
Yeah.
And then it
and then there's one more.
out.
Yeah.
To, I guess, it pans out to a TV where someone with a remote is watching them, and it's like, wait, what's happening? And then it ends.
Yes. So obviously someone is monitoring it. I don't think this is all of Wanda's making. I think there's someone who put her there, but like you said, she's just accepting it because she's not happy with her life's outcome outside of this, because outside of this, her boyfriend is dead.
Yeah, her brother is dead.
Her brother is dead. Her boyfriend's dead. Her
future,
brother's not even mentioned in this.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll bring him back up.
No, I doubt it. No.
I doubt it, yeah.
No, I mean, I guess the only other thing in her life, it's like, it's gone. Captain America's gone. There's no Avengers team without him.
Right.
Iron Man is gone. So, like, what does she have in the world now?
Yeah. You're right.
It's like, it's now just like you're interested. We were hooked. I mean,
after the ending, because it literally is the last 2 or 3 minutes of the show. Other than that, you are watching a full-fledged sitcom. There's very little where there, and I that's why when I was texting you, I was like, this was kind of like, it was okay. It's not something that I would if this is how they were going to continue doing all of the episodes, I wouldn't have enjoyed it, because I don't want to watch a sitcom. I could watch an original like 1950s sitcom, but that end there was good. I wanted more of that, and they delivered that in the second episode. So we're going to move on to the second episode now. And that, like I think we mentioned before, that's more of like the Bewitched formatting. And I think you said you didn't notice the fact that their setting changed.
Yeah, I didn't notice that their, I guess, house is different.
The house
I
is
mean, I've
different.
I've seen people say like they've watched this now 2 or 3 times over the weekend,
Yeah,
and I'm like, I do maybe want to go back and watch now. Now
yeah,
that like talking about episode one, talking about episode, see here, is noticing like things are different. I didn't know that were that different.
yeah. It's a totally different house, a totally different setting.
Okay, I definitely gotta have a second
Yeah.
viewing of this now.
At least that's what I noticed. Now I don't know if they were just in a different part of the house and I didn't understand it. That could be
Are there
filming
filming inconsistencies? No, I doubt that.
No, I don't think that was it. Their house is definitely bigger, isn't it? Or am I
They have
imagining that?
upstairs now.
We didn't see the upstairs in the first one. That's right.
Yeah.
And the beds. So I know that was one of my favorite scenes. So again, it starts off as a normal sitcom. It has a
Yeah.
beginning. So both of the sitcoms had different title songs. The first one had
Yeah.
a different one. The second one had a different one. It was a cartoon because Bewitched has a cartoon.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's definitely following more of that Bewitched
Mhm.
era type sitcom formula. And again, there is a story of what you would typically see in a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear them talking about a talent show that they want to perform in, but they don't want to do real magic because Wanda is very particular on how she wants everyone to see that this is an illusion. She doesn't
Yeah.
want people to think that they have powers.
Yeah.
And it's because this is her home now. She says it repeatedly in this episode that this is home now. I want to fit in. This is home now. Right? So she doesn't want to leave, whether she's put there or she is done something to be there. Either way, it seems like she's made a choice to be in this situation
Yeah,
because
I think it's like she wants to be here.
yeah,
She does not want to ruin the appearance. Like, oh, we don't belong.
right. Because
So
because again, her outside world is probably not something she wants to go to. We don't know why she's there. We don't know how she's there, but we know that she likes it for the
yeah,
most part. So the episode is great. We see Vision kind of be goofy. So there's a scene in there where he eats big red gum, which, oh my God, I haven't heard of that gum in so long.
yeah.
I don't, do they even sell it anymore?
I think they have it. For some reason, that's just like no one wants
No
to
one
get that
eats
gum
it.
anymore.
When I
The
was a
cinnamon,
kid, that was the
big
gum we
red.
left all the way at the end. I never ate it. But
It's
of
like the
course,
Fireball whiskey.
it is. Maybe that's why I can
That's the
take
taste.
shots now of Fireball whiskey because
I feel
before,
like I haven't had that in years now.
but like as a kid, like that when like people would come visit from, so I grew up in India, so when people would come visit from America, that would be
Yeah.
one of the things they would like give out to everybody.
Yeah,
Big
I
red
remember
gum and juicy
that like we
fruit.
would send gum.
Yeah,
My family would send
we
gum.
had gum in India. I don't know why everybody just said gum. We had bubble gum, like it was yummy gum, and y'all sent us like juicy fruit. We had flavor for like 5 seconds and then died. But if Juicy Fruit wants to sponsor us, it's the best gum ever.
Yeah.
Just say.
No, but it was funny because the Vision actually goes to meet all the husbands, I guess,
Yeah.
of like this whoever charity for the town show for the kids.
Yeah, they're in a town,
and then
so they're hanging
they're
out.
gossiping. They're
Yeah.
like a bunch of little gossip girls, like in that little room.
My theory is guys gossip more than girls.
Oh, definitely. I feel like that.
I mean, girls gossip too. Don't get me wrong, but
No, and then they're like, "Oh, we don't really want Vision here." I mean,
he's kind of.
what
We
do
thought
they
you
call
were a
him? They call
square.
him Vision, right?
They
His
call him
human
Vision.
name is Vision.
Yeah. But they call him a
And
square.
They call him a square, and then he chews the gum, and then it breaks his system. He gets stuck up all in his gears.
Yeah.
And then
He's
he
like,
becomes a little goofy. He
Yeah.
becomes a little like
he's fun.
charmed. He's kind of out of his loopy.
Yeah.
And he's telling jokes. I really like the one where he's like, "Oh, this guy's a communist." And they're
Oh
like, "You're
yeah, everybody was
hilarious."
dying because that was such a big deal back in the day
Yeah.
too, right? Like,
And it's like,
did you know
I mean,
that Lucy, who like the actress who played Lucy,
Yeah.
she was actually, I think, blamed for being a communist, and then she would have episodes in I Love Lucy where she would make fun of people blaming her.
oh really?
Yeah,
They're
because it was such a
back
big
then.
deal. Like, who was it? Was it Reagan that was an actor? The President Reagan. He was an
Yeah,
actor,
I
and then
think so.
eventually he became. Apparently, he like told everybody
he an
about
actor?
any
I didn't know that.
commies in Hollywood.
I mean, there's propaganda TV then.
If I have my facts right, there's propaganda TV now.
Yeah.
Fake news.
We could be watching this right now. Like, it could be this.
No, but so yeah, like he said, I think I really enjoyed that. I know you really enjoyed him being a little goofy because Vision is always serious.
Vision is serious, dull.
Jarvis, he was Jarvis before this.
Yeah, it's the voice of Jarvis.
It's the voice of Jarvis,
actor.
Yeah, the actor. Yeah,
it's great. They got to like carry through. Like, I don't know what he was. Just voice.
Just an aside, I have a question. Is it true that that Vision was created from Jarvis and they just put it? It is okay. I don't know if I saw it in the movies or if I missed Age that. Of Ultron. Okay, because I feel like I missed that. I have watched Age of Ultron like a couple of times.
I don't know exactly. At least like
they create him, right? I remember them making Vision, but I didn't know if it was Jarvis or not.
I mixed this up, but in Age of Ultron, Tony Stark creates AI that's Ultron. Mm-hmm. Then he creates another robot that's Vision.
And that uses the stone.
I think the remaining dump of data that was made, because like when Ultron is first created, he destroys Jarvis. Mm-hmm. And I guess the remaining AI bits was imported into Vision, I think.
Okay, or that makes sense.
At least that's how the movie's done.
Yeah, because I didn't catch that. You're the one that pointed it out to me because I didn't even know it was the same voice actor.
Yeah, it's like he's in 2008. They're like, oh, here's Jarvis. And then 2015.
Okay.
It's like, all right, we'll put a face to the thing.
Because people did like Jarvis. I think people really enjoyed him.
Yeah, Jarvis.
But now Jarvis is being goofy in this sitcom type MCU show. And I don't know, it's such a weird character arc. But Jarvis is always kind of snarky, even in Iron Man. So I could see him. I could see why they went that route because we know
he had
that
a personality
this guy,
more than.
I think it was good. I think they did a really good job with that. Yep.
Yeah. Then the next part of the show, I guess, was like her side. Like we talked about, Vision is just goofing off over here. He's somewhat broken. And then her side is she's trying to impress, I guess, someone the head of this committee of schools or something. If
like
she ever
the
had
PTA,
a kid.
like
the PTA.
Debbie. Yeah.
I don't know the good
lady's name. I'm making up all these names. I'm some blonde lady in there.
Yeah, so she's recommended by her neighbor to go see her and listen. But she's like interrupting and talking, and then she gets some.
Yeah.
She gets some sass, like don't interrupt or don't talk while I'm talking.
Yeah, she was mean to her.
Yeah.
She was like,
and then
I feel like that was so unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean. That scene kind of made me think of Edward Scissorhands.
Why?
And like, I don't know. Some reason, like all the women, I guess, were like going to meet or hanging out in one place. Like that show, I guess that was the '90s show movie. Mm-hmm. But I think it was like set like even before that, maybe.
Yeah.
And it had like all the moms and like people hanging out together, and they were gossiping and this and that. Like, I guess it was like a group of ladies. I guess I don't know.
A kitty party.
Seen? Yeah, a kitty party maybe.
A kitty party. Is that something just Indian people call it when a group of older women hang out? That's not an American thing? Okay.
No, it's not.
Okay. You learn something new every day. A pussy party, as Americans would say. Is that not a thing either?
I don't think so.
It should be. That sounds awesome.
It should be.
No, I don't remember that scene from it. The one scene I remember is when he's like cutting the snow and it starts snowing. That I remember from Edward Scissorhands. I haven't seen that movie for so long. Yes.
Like the main lady, I guess, is mean to her, and then she goes up to her at the end of everyone else leaves, like, oh, I want to make this up to you, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then she cuts her hand.
Yeah, so the
or something.
Yes, the lady, like I think Wanda tries to do something, like help out, and it goes awry, and she cuts this blonde lady's hand on something. Mm-hmm. And you see that her hand's blood is red. Now, this is not the only time we see color. All the other 2 episodes were in black and white. In this, we start to see a little bit more color. In the last episode, the end scene that R was talking about, where, it zooms out and we see this guy watching this TV with Wanda in it, that is in color, right?
Yeah.
But in the second...
the other scene Yeah, there's one other scene. I guess when she first leaves the house.
Yes,
she
this is in the
sees
second episode
a
now
helicopter.
too. Yeah.
In the bushes, and they're like,
Yeah.
"What is this?"
Yeah.
And then we get like a little like zoom in on the helicopter with there's like a symbol on. It's a red
The
helicopter.
beginning of the episode, right? Because the episode actually starts off with like some noise that's banging.
Yeah, there's some knocking or something.
Yeah, and we don't know what that is. We still don't know what that is, really. There's just someone knocking.
We might know.
We think it's the guy at the end?
I mean, probably.
Yeah, it's probably got. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just to move the story forward.
I mean, what was the helicopter? Was that somebody flying it or something, and then it got stuck in the trees as a storm?
No clue.
And then landed in the bushes?
Well, remember you hear the noise. Like, she hears the noise as she's going out as well. And she thinks the helicopter is the source of it, and she's holding on to it. And you get, again, that creepy music that we heard in the first episode. Some variation of that where things kind of change. It's not a sitcom for that split second. Yeah. And then also the extra actors that are not main Wanda and Vision are the same. In all even though it's a new era, new decade, same people are acting similar things, right? So the best friend's still the best friend. And I think that was it, right? And then the
boss was maybe
the boss wasn't in this one. But his wife is in the background. Kitty is like seen throughout the show.
Yeah, I mean, there's way more characters in this episode.
Yes. And I think they're going to repeat as important as they get.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see where, like, who's going to be reoccurring, like, of these, like, I guess, adults.
Who's an extra and who's an actual, like, important person.
Yeah.
But
like the neighbor lady's an important character. We know that.
Oh, for sure. My guess is that she's going to be the villain, only because we've talked about it a little bit, and you said it might be based on a character from the comic book, right?
She's based on something of history of Wanda comics or Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to
I don't want to look into it. I mean, I'd rather not know what she
spoilers.
Is. Yeah.
No spoilers.
It's like that's as much as I want to know, at least.
Yeah. And then I think the other thing is too, we saw that the helicopter symbol, there was a symbol on the helicopter, and that's the same symbol that was in the ending of the first episode where the guy is zoomed out and looking at Wanda from a TV.
What was that symbol in that scene?
I think we noticed it. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But I think it might have been the same. Okay. So maybe
because it was very short. It was a very quick scene.
Yes. It was maybe like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. My guess is that they might have something to do with it, but I might be wrong. You're right. If you didn't catch it,
I think it's definitely related. There's something going on.
Why a helicopter? It's interesting.
Yeah. What's
a correlation with that? Is it just a toy that whatever this company is with the symbol makes? I don't know. But why is it in color?
Yeah. Why is that thing in color? Why is the blood in color?
Yeah.
And then also when she's like cuts her hand, the radio's also speaking back to her.
Yes.
It's breaking something.
Right.
It's breaking Wanda's, I guess.
Now I remember what they said. They said, Wanda, who's doing this to you?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? I think that's what the voice said.
Exactly, yeah.
At first I just thought that they were saying, oh, Wanda, are you there? Who, like, I didn't think that, but they said, who's doing this to you? So that, again, now we can tell that this is not something she potentially created, unless the person it is a male voice. We couldn't recognize who it was.
Yeah.
But they're asking Wanda, who is doing this to you? So it's definitely something being done to her. Or if the person who's asking isn't aware and she's doing this to herself. Is she powerful enough to do this? Create a whole different universe? I'm guessing, right?
Anything is possible. Yeah.
Anything is possible. It's MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was another, like we said, there's more tidbits. So already we're seeing some noise that's happening that, she can't locate. There's a helicopter toy that's in color. And she snaps out when she sees these things. She's no longer this like brain dead, for lack of a better word, Wanda. She is being aware. Yeah, you can see it in fabulous acting, by the way, with the girl who plays Wanda. She is
Elizabeth Olsen.
You said Full House. She is Michelle Tanner's. Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't even catch that. Right, that's right. But
maybe they would go.
maybe
there.
they have to do Full House now. But she said she was always very like she hated being called the third twin, so maybe they won't out of respect for her. But yeah, so she's really. I mean, I know like in the beginning when she took on Scarlet Witch, she did like a Russian accent and like that didn't pan out. But I'm so glad because I think she's a really good actress. She did really well with all of that, like just being self-aware, just like her eyes changing and just the little stuff that she did. It's really cool to just even
It
you
is
could
actually
notice.
strange. I have never seen anything with either of these characters. Anything else? I've never seen Vision in anything else, and I've never seen Scarlet Witch.
No, me neither. They're good actors. I mean, as far as I can tell, they're portraying these characters for years, and they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's she did a really good job. I think she definitely can carry the show, and that was one of my other things too. I'm like, these two are not main characters in the MCU. Will they be able to carry an entire show? And yeah, so far I think so.
Especially the first Disney Plus MCU show.
Yeah, this is setting. But now I'm thinking the first is probably the crappiest, right? Like if you're gonna release something, you're probably gonna release the subpar stuff first.
No way. I would think like
you think they'll do the best first.
You bring it out like, all right.
But wouldn't it be the most underdeveloped too? The first thing.
I mean, they're probably also working on this for 2-3 years now. Yeah.
But not. I guess neither is like Falcon and Hawk. No.
Winter Soldier.
I was like, Hawkeye is a different show. He's getting one too.
Oh yeah, that's also coming out. Yeah. Coming out probably this fall.
Yeah, but those are like obviously Hawkeye is like a freaking Avenger. So now Falcon, he is too. Like at the end of Endgame, he is officially now a main character. I didn't get
Falcon
that.
Is going to be the main series, like main line.
So that's why I'm thinking they're probably releasing something that's not the best first, and that makes me excited for the other stuff because they probably.
And it's like if this is not the best,
yeah,
I'm fine happy. With that. This is,
because you know what? Retrospectively, we're gonna look back and be like, well, "This was impressive, but this is so much more impressive." Like I think that's what's gonna happen.
I'm wondering is there gonna be a season 2 to this, or is this a one-off? Like, all right, here's this arc, and it leads into something else.
Well, from what I heard, it's like a special. Because you have to remember these actors are pretty big actors. I don't know about like Wanda and Vision. Like you said, I haven't seen them in anything either. But I know she did a lot of horror movies when she first started, and she got pretty famous from them.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen, I think her name is.
Yeah.
She's not the third Olsen twin, so don't call her that. But yeah, her name is Elizabeth Olsen. She did a movie with Ted Mosby too, which I don't think.
Oh, did she?
Good. I think so. I think it was like an indie movie. I could be mixing her up with someone else.
Is How I Met Your Mother considered a sitcom?
Yes, definitely. But it's not.
How I Met Your Vision. How I Met Your Scarlet Witch.
How I Met My Vision. It's not a bad one. I don't know if they'll do that. That one might not be a classic enough to do like it as a sitcom.
I mean, I thought it was a classic until the last 2 seasons. I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could still rewatch it.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch the last season though. I would watch only the mother scenes and then leave it because I love the mother. I thought she was such.
Yeah, the mother was great.
Yeah, they picked a good one for the mother. Okay, so back to what were we talking about? Oh right, so Elizabeth Olsen. So again, we talked about the blood, the radio, the helicopter, and then there's one more big scene towards the end.
Well, so before we get to that, I would say like the talent show itself.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Is a fun. They're goofing off.
Really
Vision
funny.
Is so out of his mind still. Like
really still like drunk on Big Red.
Yeah, it's like he's drunk. Yeah, pretty much. They're doing the show, and then I guess the big trick at the end is the disappear your assistant in the box. Yeah. I don't know what you call that. Make your assistant disappear. But Scarlet Witch doesn't actually get in the box, and then he's trying to do the trick. He forgets like to let her in.
Yeah.
And then Scarlet Witch actually has to use her magic and like make someone appear into the box.
Yeah.
And that is, I guess, like some maybe future spoilers, some I guess like
if you haven't seen other stuff.
Spoilers, we've seen some behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This lady is actually someone that's, I guess, part of the MCU, or an adult version of a character from Captain
From
Marvel.
yeah. Well, that gives it away pretty much.
No, I mean, I don't know if that's spoiling anything. But
we won't name names, but also it's interesting to note that this character, right? She is in an earlier scene too, right? She's one of the PTA members, right? Like
yeah,
R
she's
was
like
saying.
friendly with her.
Yeah, and then finally they sit down and they're talking, right? And this character goes, "I don't even really know why I'm here." So she's slightly, even her, she's not questioning too much, but she knows one thing, right?
Yeah.
I know why I'm not, like, I don't know why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, with Wanda, it's there, but it's not a prominent concern. Well, with this character, when she says it, you can tell that there's confusion and she's almost like she's kind of scared.
Yeah.
With Wanda, it doesn't seem like she's second guessing it. Not until things are happening to her and she kind of switches and is self-aware for a little bit. We don't see that with her, which is interesting.
And then, like, at the end, like, after the trick is done, they're like, "Oh, so how did you do it?" And she's like, "Oh, we don't." Vision's like, "Oh, Vision never gives away his tricks.
Yeah.
That's for my assistant." And then she's like, "Oh, I don't either."
And I'll never tell.
Yeah.
Something like that.
She's aware. She's like,
don't get a word out of me.
She's confused.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I was in the back and now I was in the thing. Right. And she knows that's not normal.
Right. I mean, she knows.
I mean, I guess maybe anyone would ever feel that. Like,
yeah, I mean, she was
you were warped from somewhere to somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, it was interesting that this character is going to be a good foil between how Wanda is acting in this world versus this other person. And I think it'll be interesting to see their different, like, interactions and how one reacts to one thing and how the other does. Yeah. I hope they do a little bit more of that. And one more debate that we had is Vision part of Wanda's subconscious? Is he an actor? If there's a theory that, kind of, we were thinking maybe this is kind of like the Truman Show because we keep seeing the same, like, extras. So maybe they're just acting things out for Wanda, so she is more sedated. And we're wondering if Vision's maybe an actor. Like, I think one of the things that maybe a Creed that could shapeshift into Vision. That was my guess. I don't know if. And then the other thing is maybe he's alive and the same thing that's happening to Wanda is happening to him. Yeah. Like, we don't know. So he's going to be a big mystery. Like, what happens to him is going to dictate, like, how the viewers are going to view him. So I'm going to pay really close attention to him because I think he's going to give a lot of clues as to where the series is going.
So I think the next scene, they're back in their house and things are normal. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, we actually did a pretty good job." And they're happy with whatever things turned out. And then they hear that noise again. Right,
like in the beginning of the episode, they were kind of hearing like a almost kind of knock or some kind of a rattle. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they go outside, and then they see, I guess, on the street whatever manhole is like, I guess, uncovered, and a guy in a beekeeper suit with a bunch of bees
around him. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks terrifying.
Yeah, and then what does Wanda say?
Not that terrifying.
It's just like, out of place.
Yeah, that's like, what is happening right now? And then she's kind of just like, this is not happening right now. Is that the word she used?
Yeah, she said, this cannot be happening.
Yeah, and then it kind of like rewinds in a
time
shocking,
goes back.
Kind of like, and I don't think they acknowledge it. They kind of just like start again from like at the couch where they were earlier. And then it's revealed that Wanda is pregnant. And it's like, okay.
And like, she just has a belly. Like, that's
it just instantly just appears.
Instantly, she just pops, like, it like almost kind of like cartoonishly pops up.
Yeah, and then like the world breaks, and then I guess color is back.
Yeah, well, your theory is that the world
screen broke. Like colors feel.
My theory is that,
but I think it's becoming normal again.
Yes, it's going to a different era now. The other thing,
too. That also could be just it. Like, we're moving forward in time.
We're moving forward in time, so maybe they're in some sort of like a time capture.
It was just a dream. It was just like something.
I don't know if she's sedated. It's really hard to tell right now. We have theories like we mentioned before, right? Maybe it's like the Truman Show and someone created this little sanctuary for her. Maybe like we said before, her powers are too great and this is how they're sedating her because otherwise she might harm the world. Because
Yeah, I mean, so like, I think now we're done with the episode.
yeah.
And I think we should do like our theories and predictions of like,
Yeah.
first, just like what is going on right now? Like, are they in some? So is it like she's sedated, or is it like another theory of like this is like a
Her doing.
controlled space?
Yeah, her doing.
No,
Well,
someone else maybe.
there's
Like
a couple of
maybe
things
she
going through
needs
my head.
something. Like I was thinking, kind of like in Thor, not
Yeah.
Thor. The end of Ultron,
Mm-hmm.
Hulk runs away, and then he needs his own space or something. Kind of like
Yeah.
maybe Wanda needs her own space, so she runs away.
Could be.
Or,
Yes, that's a very valid theory because obviously everything in her real life is kind of not panning out the way she wants to. I know in the beginning of Infinity War, like it seemed like her and Vision are happily living together and they're in a relationship,
yeah.
and obviously they're okay with where they were with each other.
I think
Right.
I was also thinking, what if this is just that era of like some time between
That, yeah.
Civil War when they escaped the prison, and then
Would this character
Infinity
that we
War.
talked about before, would she be, would the age check out? She looks like she's in her 30s.
Yeah, I mean, if she was like maybe what 10 in the 90s,
Yeah.
20 years, 30 years later, it should be 40.
40. So what,
Maybe
it
she
could
was
be
just
beautiful.
5.
Maybe we're not doing the math right.
1990, and she was what 5, 10? I don't know how old she was.
Yeah.
Well,
I
how
guess we'll
old was the
find
daughter?
out.
Maybe 5?
I think she was 7.
Yes,
They've
she
never
could be
mentioned.
37 then.
Yeah, that could work. 37, I could see her being 37. It's a little far fetched because the actress who plays her looks super young.
Yeah, she's probably like 20 something, and
Yeah,
he's
she's probably 30.
playing at 30.
Yep.
No, but it's like, could it be something with that? Like maybe it's just one of their days where they're just like they're both having daydreaming away.
Could be, but what is the big consequence, A, of the story to the whole
Yeah,
MCU universe if there's just daydreaming away? And B, what is the importance of the character from Captain Marvel?
yeah, that's
Right. That
tough.
has to
It's like,
tie
does
in.
she have powers? Is she still just human?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we didn't say before that. Well, now we have that lady, that was I guess in the box that magically appeared, is the Captain Marvel's friend that's like in the Air
Navy with Air
Force,
Force, yeah.
Navy.
Air Force.
She was flying planes. She had a daughter that was like 7. I guess her
Yeah.
grown up is this
We
character.
are totally guessing that she was 7. We're not 100% sure how old she was. She was
Yeah.
on the younger side, obviously. I think she was under 10.
Yeah.
Or at least
Yeah, I mean,
just 10.
it's not the same actress. It's somebody else playing, so they could be whatever age. Yeah.
Yeah, so she is the one. So I don't know. I think my theory
right now,
is
like,
Truman Show. I'm going with Truman Show because I'm thinking they have this control space for. But the only thing that's poking a hole in that theory that she is trapped in this area, in this whatever space that they created for her, this company with the sword logo or whatever.
Yeah.
The only problem with my theory with that is it seems to be that Wanda is the one controlling the whole world in this little universe.
It's definitely like encapsulating her and not Vision.
Right.
It's like Vision is the side thing.
Vision is
here,
not a player in this game. He is just the pawn. She's moving him the way she wants. Vision saved him when she says that in the first episode. You can tell he doesn't really have, and it's weird because Vision does have scenes without Wanda, which is the other thing where I'm like, so maybe it's okay, unless the first episode really was just to set up a sitcom because you see him be away from Wanda.
Yeah.
So
he
I don't
exists
know.
on his own in this
He
world.
exists on his own. So what would be the purpose of that if there was just a sanctuary
Maybe
just for Wanda?
Someone's putting these memories into her.
Could be. That's
so,
possible.
Like, now that we mentioned the sword logo.
Yeah.
And like I didn't think this show and then Captain Marvel, like the lady, the friend's daughter, whatever. We should find out her name really.
I'll look. You keep
Um,
talking.
what's it called? I didn't think this show would be related more towards Captain Marvel than something like Doctor Strange. Um, so this show, I think, would be definitely like something that leads into a Captain Marvel 2, I think, more than than a Doctor Strange 2.
Monica? Does that sound right? Monica?
Yeah, good.
Yes,
Yeah, I think
Monica.
Monica sounds good.
I know because
You know.
Monica's the one who told me she was Monica. Inside joke. Go ahead.
No, so I think like at the end of Captain Marvel, I guess it was revealed that Nick Fury, the former head of Shields, is now the former head of a new agency called Sword.
Yeah.
And we don't know anything about it. It's just like an alien-run Shield.
Mm-hmm. But if it was new and it was,
I don't think it's new. It's been existing since the 90s. It's just been in space.
So maybe this is in.
Or has it? I don't know.
It's
not that we
I don't know
any
what the
information
timeline was there, right?
Was that present day when he did that?
Yeah.
Or is that just after Endgame?
Yeah, I don't know the timeline.
And then it's like in
that.
Spider-Man, was that the alien or was that actually Nick Fury?
Oh yeah, we don't
know.
We don't know. That's right. There was that theory that I think we read online, right? But we're not sure if this was the alien or not.
I mean, if that scene took place back in '90s, it could have been Nick Fury was the alien this whole time.
Oof. Crazy.
And he's getting his own show for next year.
Nick Fury?
Yeah.
So maybe he was head of. Oh my God! Maybe we cracked it. Maybe he was just the head of the Sword, right? He's the head. He was clearly lounging around in the end credit scene.
Yeah.
Maybe he owns it, and he has decreed people shapeshift into him, and just take care of everything on Earth.
Well, I think you know how like I think he's at a beach, right? He's at a beach,
he's
and
in
then
a spaceship.
it like turns off. No, but like the scene starts, he's at a beach, and then it turns. He gets up, and it's like he's on a spaceship. What if like they're having some kind of this VR world where Wanda's living in, where she could have the happy life with Vision, or she's asking for this. Maybe she's asking for somebody to make this life for me.
Yes,
to live out this life, and it's
I
being
have
corrupted.
to say it has to be something with that company. The company did something that I don't know if it was by her choice or not, and I don't know if she's self-aware because she's that powerful, or that she is part of this gambit and she wants to have control over it but not remember, because remembering would be too hard for her, right? She lost so many people,
I think it has to be something related where their Sword is involved, because there's Sword items leaking through this
everywhere.
Then why is she there? It's like maybe she's willingly there, or maybe she's forced to be. She's captured and is being forced into this memory thing. Maybe there's some kind of villain that's like a time.
Right, because they can clearly rewind time, but it works different in a TV universe, right? Because this is clearly not the real universe. The other weird thing is the voice on the radio did ask, who is doing this to you? But I know we can explain that away, saying that she might still be doing it to herself. It's just this other person doesn't know it. So I guess this theory that she's doing it to herself still, that sounds weird saying it like that, but I guess that still can apply. But I'm guessing more so it's a combination of someone put her there, but she's okay with it for the time being.
Yeah, I think
she's not fully self-aware yet.
From the first episode and second episode, early part, it seems like she's happy where she is.
She's happy. This is home now. This is
her home to her.
Yeah.
But why is it moving forward each episode? Like, why is time moving forward?
Now I'm thinking she's doing. No, okay, you have someone's controlling that. I'm thinking she's doing that.
But she doesn't realize.
But she doesn't realize, right? I think she's doing that because, especially the beekeeper episode, right at the end, where she sees it and she says, "This cannot be happening," right? Yeah. And then the time moves after she says that, right? Yeah. To me, that was an indication that she didn't like something happening there. And maybe she's slowly taking control of the world that someone put her there in.
Yeah.
And that's why all these clues are leaking in, and now they're in color, and this is her way of trying to figure out, like, she's now coming unsedated, and
Yeah.
becoming more of her actual self and trying to
Yeah.
get herself out of here, possibly
Mm-hmm.
away from Vision, which is what might have been what's keeping her there. That's my
Yes, I mean,
theory.
it's possible. I mean, I think I'm gonna go with now for she's willingly at Sword Agency in space.
Hoping.
Not helping. She's kind of just created a fiction, asked for a fictional world so
She
she can live
wanted
out her
this to
happy life
happen.
with
Okay.
Vision.
Right.
But the people in charge of Sword, or someone is corrupt there, I would
Mm-hmm.
think.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I would think it's. I don't want to say the story's repeating stuff, but like Shield, there was Hydra agents working in Shield, and they were corrupting Shields from the inside. I
Okay.
think the same thing is happening with Sword, with some kind of alien race of either
People.
the Kree or the Skrull. I think the Skrull is the main one here.
Oh,
Kree
that's
is the
right.
bad
I
guys.
said Creed. I met Scrolls right
Yeah,
before when I was like, oh, maybe they shifted into these extras.
yeah.
I meant Scrolls because they're the ones
So
that created.
maybe, yeah, the Skrulls can shapeshift.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe someone is doing that, or maybe the software itself is buggy and it's like leaking like the certain
Information.
things here and there, and then I don't know who the main villain would be. Like, is that friend and the neighbor lady? Is she up to something? Is that
Yes.
the head of the PT kind of person? Is she up to something?
Yeah, she seemed a little fishy because she remember the scene they had, and she
Mm-hmm.
said, "I don't trust you" or something along the lines.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was hostile.
yeah.
Their interaction was not nice until she
No.
bleeds, and then she
Mm-hmm.
kind of even her actually. Well, I said only
Maybe it was.
Captain. I say only Scarlet has moments of like realization, but with the
Yeah.
blood, that lady actually did have that weird sort of like I don't like you, like I think there's
Mm-hmm.
something weird about you, and then she snaps back after she's bleeding and she puts like cloth on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then she starts talking about there's only one thing that could take the color of blood off or something, like she starts talking about like it as like a
So
typical
kind of
housewife.
like the same thing. Episode 1, when the
Yeah.
food after Vision takes the food out, they just like, all right,
Yes,
back
how
to normal.
Kitty
Ignore it.
was. Yeah.
They just ignored what just happened and went back to real life, or
Yeah, so
like
maybe
how it was
these
before.
people don't have a choice of being there either. At first, I'm like, maybe they have a choice and they're just acting out,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe they don't either. Now that I'm like thinking about these two
Yeah.
scenes, like Kitty was, she was the wife. So in the
Yeah.
first episode, she was the wife of the boss, the Hearts. She was
Yeah.
half of the heart. So she when her husband's choking, she over and over again says, "Stop playing, stop playing," and you can see that she's about to
Mm-hmm.
cry,
Yeah.
but she can't emote that into words, and I wonder why that is. So yeah, that kind of puts a damper on one of my theories, which is that it's Truman Show. It might not be.
Yeah. I, I mean, it could really be
It could be
anything. No,
anything. We
it's
don't
it's
have
like
enough
it's like. So
information at
what do
the
you
time.
expect for next episode?
I
Pregnant kids?
think
That's the kids being
yes,
born.
I think she's gonna go through the pregnancy. I don't know if there'll be kids, but I definitely think
Mm-hmm.
that she's going to be pregnant in the next episode because I remember seeing it in the trailer that she had kind of like the hippie style outfit on. Everything
Yeah.
was in color, and she
Mm-hmm.
had like a belly. So
Okay.
it's gonna be 70s. One thing I am looking forward to, and I said this before, I want there to be Kitty in this episode, just as a fan service
Oh
to
yeah.
anyone
Yeah.
who watched the 70s show, just as that. Even if she's not playing that role of the nurse,
Mm-hmm.
just have her be and say something in the episode, and I'll just be happy. I'll sleep happy that night. That's all I'm asking for. But yeah, I think my predictions, I think there's going to be a lot less sitcom, a lot more clues.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how long next week's episode
Yes.
will that
And
be,
I
like a
think
40-minute episode, maybe.
I think there's going to be a scene where she's going to fully break. So far, we've seen her
Yeah.
just kind of have a quick flash of who she might be.
Yeah.
But I think in this episode, there's going to be at least one scene where she will say, "What am I doing here? I don't, I don't know what's
Mm-hmm.
happening." And I don't know if it's going to last,
Mm-hmm.
but I think there might be one of those scenes. Because in the end of episode 2, we almost saw it, right? Where she says,
Mm-hmm.
"This cannot be happening."
Yeah.
So I think we'll see a lot more of that happening in the third episode.
Yeah.
What about you?
And I mean, I feel like since there's 9 episodes, we're only on two done now, the third
And then
episode.
third one, yeah.
We're gonna be still in the dark for like another 3 episodes.
I think so. I think they're gonna try to drag it out, but I think the clues will get a little bit wider in this one.
I feel like we're gonna get some kind of big reveal of like who's behind the TV or the beekeeper suit.
The big, yeah. I think they won't explain that in this one. You think?
No,
maybe. I don't know.
It could be too early. It's like
might be too.
Maybe
That seems like it has a lot of
episode
clues. Yes.
End of the episode, they'll be like, all right, here's him again.
Yeah.
But I was like, Vision and Scarlet Witch do have kids in like some comics.
Yeah.
I don't know their names or anything, but
they might. I think eventually, maybe in the 4th episode, they'll have kids.
I think the kids will be born, maybe.
Yeah, they'll
be
moving
old. Forward 10 years. What is it? 10 years?
Technically, yeah.
Fictional 10.
Yeah. Fictional 10 years. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, they could have kids by then.
I mean, it could. Like, what could be the plot of like?
I think it's Brady
Bunch. The first episode
actually.
was just like a dinner with the boss.
Yeah.
Second one was talent show. So. What would be a 70s kind of thing?
Brady Bunch was in the 70s, I believe. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe something to do with kids. That's possible.
Maybe with a bunch of kids, yeah.
Yeah, maybe they'll have like 4 kids. And another on the way. She's pregnant.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
It'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this is going to lead. First 2 episodes, my impression was, how did you make me really, like, not really not like it, but really, like, question their choices in the first episode and then completely change my mind in the second one, just because of the pacing of the story was done really, really well. Yeah. I think this show is made to be in this way. Like, the parts that they're doing, it's really smart.
Yeah, and then I saw an interview with Kevin Feige, and he's like, since this is on our own network, like our own streaming platform, we don't have to play to the rules of timing. So we will make episodes fit the way we think will work. And we best. See that with Mando. With that, right? Yeah, Mando.
Disney too, doesn't mandate that it has to be
30 minutes or 1 hour. Like, they'll have maybe a longer episode, and it's like, I feel like maybe sometimes like those DC shows are like, all right, we need to have 42 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, because they're on like a syndicated channel, right?
Is that the right word? They're like forced to, and then like extend scenes or make things short. Like this is like they're doing whatever they want.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I think it's gonna be good. Let's see whose theories pan out. I know we don't really have a coherent theory because we still don't have enough information.
Yeah.
But these are just some that we're kind of throwing at the wall to see which one will stick as we go forward in the show. But really excited. I think they did a really good. That last scene in both the episodes. Awesome.
One last question: who do you think will cameo in this series?
Oh, that's gonna be mad on too. I definitely think Doctor Strange is gonna come.
Yeah,
that's my guess. I think Doctor Strange is gonna come. Nick Fury is the other one. I think you were saying when we were first talking.
Yeah, Nick Fury seems like he could be somebody. I was thinking like maybe Loki.
I would love that.
It'd be fun. I mean, it doesn't make sense right now, but like
he's just passing by with the Tesseract.
Show. He has his own show that's gonna air in May.
Yeah,
and like
those are not connected, right? Or at least we don't know how they're connected.
It should be. It picks up right after when he steals the Tesseract and leaves.
Yeah.
In Endgame, so
maybe.
It's like, oh, maybe he'll pop in, or maybe he's the one. He's used the Space Stone to alter something to end up this way.
Yeah, possible.
No, I mean it seems like it's a low likelihood.
It's a stretch.
Doctor Strange definitely seems like more of a person.
Yes, and I say that because
Wanda's supposed to be
right
casted in that movie.
Right. So she's gonna be a big deal, obviously. So I think he's gonna show up towards the end of the show, obviously. But I'm thinking he's gonna be there. Yeah.
Nobody else? No small characters? Maybe that guy. What's his name? He's in Civil War, and then he's in Black Panther.
Martin Freeman's character?
Yeah, Martin Freeman.
Oh, he was some sort of an agent of something.
Maybe he's too small.
Yeah, he randomly made more.
Yeah, he made it into.
What if him and Doctor Strange come in this show at the end?
I think he's like just to make Sherlock fans happy, they'll be on scene together.
Yes,
I don't think they have been on scene together yet.
the whole time I was watching Endgame, I was
Yeah, it's
waiting.
like when are they gonna meet?
I was like, are they gonna have? But he wasn't in the movie. Like together, they didn't have a scene together. Actually, Martin Freeman wasn't in the movie at all. I don't think.
No, I think he's just in Black Panther.
He was in Black Panther. That's it. And then there was another.
No, he was in Thor 3. Ragnarok.
Was he? Oh yeah, he was in Ragnarok. No,
Ragnarok was all in space.
He was only in Black Panther. And there was one more where he had a small scene, but I can't remember which movie that was.
Yeah.
But either way, they didn't have any scenes together. And there was this other thing that fans wanted, where they wanted Benedict Cumberbatch and Robert Downey Jr. to be like no shit Sherlock to each other at least once in the movie, and that didn't happen. I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Or maybe have a deleted scene for that,
Maybe. But yeah, I'm excited to see. This is definitely. First, I thought maybe it's not going to be too important to the MCU, but I think it's going to expand.
I don't think it's going to change anything that big.
No, but I think it's going to lead us into the Doctor Strange movie for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure going to happen. Yeah. And that's called Into the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, okay. All right. So maybe she's
mad. This whole world she's dreaming is a multiverse that she's dreaming up.
Yeah, and that was one of my theories.
Yeah.
Or two. I was like, maybe it's part of another universe where Vision is alive. Because I do want Vision to be alive. I think it'd be nice if he was alive, but I don't think he is.
I mean, she could summon up a portal to a new place, or maybe just imagine it. I don't know. There's something going on.
We don't have enough information at this time, but these are their guesses.
No, but we're excited.
Yes, very.
Can't wait to see more.
Yes. I'm excited. Friday has got another reason for us to celebrate.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a problem with that.
Why?
I think the episode should air Thursday at like East Coast 12. Why? No, East Coast 9 o'clock, not 3 a.m.
Why is that? Because people have lives and go out on Fridays?
No, it's because East Coast people are not going to watch the show at 3 a.m.
No, they do everything for Californians still because.
No, I mean usually most shows are actually New York timed though.
Not for Netflix or Disney apparently.
Oh, not. I mean, I guess I mean live TV.
Shows. Live TV, yeah, but live TV
I mean,
is
something
live
like
for
on
everyone
HBO,
at the same time.
HBO was the thing, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Sunday is the time. And I always felt like, oh man, that sucks for California people.
Yeah. Well, now you know the feeling.
The big Game of Thrones spoiler, I guess, like comes out at 9, but like you're watching.
Was that live TV?
It's technically live,
right,
yeah.
So everyone's gonna get it. For them, 9 o'clock is. I know they have spoilers and all that stuff.
Yeah, they would have watched it at 6. Yeah. They would have watched it at
Yeah.
No, for us, like I mean, if we were working or something, we could maybe see some spoilers before we get to.
Why are you looking at spoilers when you should be working?
You gotta watch it whenever you can.
Yeah, I mean, I try to stray away from the internet. I am, after all of this is out, I'm gonna have like a 1-day binge fest where I'm just gonna sit and watch everything together because I don't like this form of TV watching. I hate waiting week after week.
I do like the
old school
watch and then kind of theorize and wonder.
I know. I could theorize while I'm watching.
I hate it. I hate that it's happening, but I do enjoy like thinking about it for a bit.
I'm a binger, man. I can't deal with this. I have to watch everything all at once.
I feel like you wouldn't be as excited if you just binged the whole 6 hours of this.
I disagree. I'd love it. I'd love every moment of it. I'd watch it again. And I'd just think about it all. This waiting is killing me.
No, it's
and
like
I have to distract myself from thinking about it, so I feel like I care about it less.
That binging thing kind of ruined Cobra Kai for me.
I don't think so.
I watched all of season 3, and I kind of was like, all right, I already.
We binged 1 and 2, and we liked it. I binged 1 and 2, and I loved it.
Yeah, but I'm not thinking. I really enjoyed season 1 and 2. Season 3 was not as good.
But that's not the fault of the binging.
That's true.
Anyway, we can argue about that forever. All right, so I think we're gonna close on that. We're excited for episode 3. Well, after next Friday, we'll talk a little bit more.
Yeah, can't wait to see it. And we'll be back with more Wandavision here at Raving and Reviewing.
Thank you, guys.